Retrograde Amnesia is a member of the Greenlit Podcast Network, a coalition of creator-owned podcasts focused on video gaming, entertainment, and pop culture. Go to greenlitpodcast.com to find out about all the great shows on the network. Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
Do you like other video games like maybe Terranigma?
Yeah.
Well, you can go to patreon.com/retroam and get a mini-series that we have recorded on that. It's pretty good, I've heard.
I've listened to it. Yeah, it's great.
It's great.
It's great.
So please go there and support us if you like. Otherwise, would you like to hear some hot sounds that I've recorded?
Sure.
Okay. Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast where we discuss classic JRPGs chapter by chapter, beat by beat. In this series, we are covering Chrono Cross. This time, we continue to unravel the mystery of the legendary dragoons from this world and ask ourselves, are these guys just warrior cops with too much power? My name's Chris. I'm joined tonight by Eric. Hey, Eric.
Will this be our terminal visit to Termina?
Probably not. Also, we are joined tonight by The Real Net, a collective of patrons who are listening to us record live.
We are also joined by the Fake Net, our post-production AI companion, enduring digital hell inside of Termina's blacksmith shop.
Initializing Fake Net.
Being liquefied actually doesn't feel that bad.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Hello, Fake Net. Good to hear you and see you. I've not seen you, really.
I'm told she's being beaten into a sword.
Oh,
okay.
No.
Fear not. I shall be forged into a sword that can kill a god.
Yes. Oh man, I love good blacksmith stories. Anyway,
smithies, but we're not doing that yet. We are going down. This is part 2 of our exploration of Termina.
When's the last time we had to take 2 episodes of this podcast to explore one place?
Krellian's Lab.
Yeah, I think you're right. Termina, Krellian's Lab, same thing. Or we've just become
text screens.
Yes. Or we've just become more pontificating than we used to be.
There's a lot of people here, and the dialogue is actually written like a human being would speak it, so it's important to take our time and devour every last word.
Yes. Treasure these moments. The next place we are going to is towards these shrines, a.k.a. maybe they're graves.
Yes, it's on the end of Grifter's Row. It's at the very bottom of it. There's a staircase down.
Yes.
There's an old man who immediately asks what business brings us here. We shouldn't disturb the resting place of the brave who have fought valiantly.
Yes.
He tells us to leave if we have no business, so of course I run past him to explore more.
Absolutely. The first thing I did, I went and looked through that sweet-looking straw cabin.
Oh, well, I mean, you can do that, but off the left is clearly the boy who just upset the merchant. I mean, you can't get to him yet, but he's just out there, like, fucking with somebody in the water. But
oh,
yeah,
Korcha. Yeah, you can kind of see Korcha. Yeah, he's there, and you can run up to this house, and the light is hitting this straw-type cabin in a very gentle way, and I really like it.
It's a single room with 2 beds, one clearly for a child.
Yes.
The person inside has some dialogue.
Yes, this is like a little girl or something?
Yeah.
We learned that Greco, like Roman Greco wrestling or whatever, This person's name is Greco, is out on an errand to Fossil Valley.
Well, he's come back a little later.
Yes.
So, what do you make of little girl in house by self above graves? Is this like the grave tender's house that he lives at?
Could be.
Or does he just live here? My mother-in-law lives in a graveyard, literally, so, it's possible.
There's a graveyard in this neighborhood.
Cool. Was it like here long before you were?
Yeah.
And they had to build a fence around it?
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. So,
do the local youths gather there to do the midnight club, midnight society?
Probably. Luckily,
are you afraid of the dark?
Luckily, it's on the other side of the neighborhood, so I don't have to worry about the ghosts.
I'll drive by.
The ghosts from 10 years ago. So, did you notice you can pick up the weights on the ground here?
This guy's benching stuff?
There's 2 barbells.
Really?
Laying on the ground, and if you go and you click on them, Serge bends over and picks up one, and he starts to walk slower. And then if you go and pick up the other one,
with them?
He walks again. No, you can't
steal my man's iron?
I don't think so. So it's weird, man. Next, we go around this little bend, right?
Yeah, it curves around, goes south, and then goes a bit to the east.
Yeah, there's like a small landmass in the center of a pond, and this area is surrounded with these like rock spires that make this place look very, very important.
Yeah, and this landmass looks like a seashell. Like, it's very carved out to look like with however the tide is set up, because there's all these shrines that are all these basically just things stabbed in the ground, and then there's one like prime shrine right in the middle of a seashell island.
this is very obviously a sacred place.
Yes. Glenn is standing here next to a lady with blue hair.
Yes.
As we approach, control is taken away from the player and the camera focuses on Glenn and his companion.
Yes, the song changes.
New music. What do you think it's called?
I have The Departed Ones.
I've got Leaving the Body.
Sure.
Yeah,
that
I
works.
can see that.
Yeah, that works. Glenn and the young lady are standing there in front of a sword.
Mm-hmm.
The sword is in the ground like some sort of Arthurian legend type sword.
It's rusted as shit.
Yeah. The young lady, who is a portrait character with purple hair, very pale skin.
Ooh, you got purple, I got blue. Who can say? Go on.
Who can say? Very pale skin, red eyes, and this snake ornament coming from her headband mentions that she was out of flowers, and they will have to pray without flowers today.
That's troubling when you're going to a grave and you don't have flowers.
Yeah.
But it said, hey, how about you go borrow some from the infinite wreaths?
Yes. Glenn, still titled as young man, notices that we have bellflower somehow.
Yeah, he turns around and Terminator marches towards Surge.
Yeah. We picked that up in Fossil Valley, so I'm curious as to what happens here if you don't have it.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I had those, so that didn't. I wonder if they just like fuck off or if.
Yeah, maybe so.
Initializing fake net.
Your actions here have no material effect on the game.
You can offer, or he will offer you money, but I handed it over for free.
So did I, because I'm a good boy.
You idiots. His rookie ass would have paid 70G for that flower.
Yes, they offer their gratitude, and then the young lady continues with a prayer. She says, "The souls that rest beneath this sword loved this flower in life. That is why we always bring some here when we pray here."
Except for this time. So this is Dario's grave, Dario's shrine.
As she offers the flowers to the sword, she says, "Dario, here is a bellflower that you used to love so much. Soon the flower's seeds shall sprout, grow leaves, and bloom flowers everywhere, and we shall age another year while you will remain the same in memory."
Oh, that sucks.
Remember how we commented about how Surge's epitaph on his grave was dark? This was also dark. It's like we're all going to change and you're always going to be the same, which could be a happy, hopeful thing where like we'll always remember you as the way you were, but also you've lost the opportunity to grow old with us. So it's kind of depressing a little bit.
It makes me think of how Final Fantasy X was apparently influenced by the death of Sakaguchi's mother.
Initializing fake net.
Eric is actually, apparently, thinking of Final Fantasy VII.
And how that influenced a lot of the themes for that. Like, was somebody going through some shit here where someone close to them died and they, you know, when someone close to you dies, you get all these existential thoughts about how their story didn't have to end and yours keeps going and survivor's remorse and all that shit.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if that's going to be a theme of this game or if it can be corrected.
She says that this is a mystery that the sword never rusts, even when left in the rain. It seems as if the soul of its masters live within it. Glenn then comments that he has engraved his memory in the lives of his father and brother who wielded the sacred sword Einlanzer.
And they both kneel to present the flower at some point, too.
Yes, and during the conversation, we learned that this girl's name is Riddel, who we heard about from one of the townsfolk. She thinks that it is odd about the dragoons of late. She says, quote, "Daddy's face shows such anguish, and even Karsh was saying that he was sent on a ghost hunt." She goes on to tell us that a guest has arrived at the manor, which is when things became strange. She asks Glenn to promise her that he will keep the unclouded truth in sight. She says, quote, "Do not be swayed by the masses. The splendor of the Einlanzer must not be tarnished."
There's a bit of nuance before that. When Glenn says in his memory, he says that the lives of his brother and father are engraved in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Miss Riddel hopes this is true, and Glenn is taken aback, asking her what she means by that. And she thinks there's been something odd about the dragoons recently.
So she hopes that
Glenn's word is true and he's not bullshitting her.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay. Interesting.
But yeah, then she goes back on to kind of like a normal.
So she may be the only one that realizes there's something that's up.
There's something fucked up.
Yeah. Glenn says, "As you wish," like the fucking Princess Bride.
Yep.
And she chuckles, and she found it awkward for him to say such words.
Yeah, the words chuckle fade in gray.
Yeah.
Well, that's like it's an emote.
Yeah, they do that a couple times in this game. Glenn then says a chill wind has risen and suggests they return to the manor.
They stop briefly to look at Surge and then disappear into the arched foundation of the straw shack.
Yep. If you approach the Einlanzer, you will see who is buried beneath. Mm-hmm. Who do you have?
Well, it said his father and brother.
Yes.
Glenn said earlier, but if you inspected it, it says, "Beneath the sacred sword, the warriors lie. 13th, Acacia Dragoon Grandmaster Garai. 14th, Acacia Dragoon Grandmaster Dario." Are these like the head person under Lord Viper?
I think they're the leader of the four. the Ford Davis.
Yeah.
And I guess, and so is Garai the father?
That's what I
of them
assumed,
too?
yeah. That is Glenn and Dario's father.
So there is a lineage here.
Yeah, a hereditary position of best swordsman.
Yeah, great.
Seems like it's stacked.
A great way to run your overseeing force in your town, city, country. It's weird. So who knows how this arc is going to play out, but they're clearly setting up this scenario where Glenn's loyalty is going to be tested up against his ethics, maybe.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how well that arc is going to play out throughout this game, but that's kind of the vibe that we're getting here. It's almost like I kind of wish that more of this game was about that arc, but I don't think it is.
I would say, from my memory, spoilers, Glenn can then be recruited eventually, but he was like, maybe because he was in my party for the entire game that I could get him, but he seemed like almost like bordering toward main character for this game.
Yeah.
So then you can also walk under this house and go talk to Korcha.
Yep.
Korcha, mid-sentence, says, and that guy rushed and hid as soon as I got there. It was a hilarious sight.
Yeah, he's out there bragging about all his Dennis the Menace
He's
shit.
embellishing shit, too. Yeah. He's talking about, the grifting the vendor. And then Korcha says he asks customers, promises to get the water person some big fish next time he comes by. So this person is a demi-human out just swimming in the water?
I guess.
Okay.
Like, this person has no other transportation.
Right. He just kind of wanders away.
Yeah. It's one of those Lena's kids just swam over here.
Yeah, right? That's funny.
Who knows?
This person doubts that, noting that Korcha's boating skills are first class, but his fishing skills suck.
Yes.
And then they just swim away.
Yeah. Then you can approach.
Weird. So he recognizes us from earlier in my game, and he said, "You're the tourists, right?" And then his next line is, "The festival's a waste of time."
Oh, I got that too. Yeah.
Which is LOL. That's really good. Like, whenever a townie is in there, or a tourist, and then the townie's like, "No, fuck that. That's stupid. Go do something else."
The first thing that he offers us is a tour because the festival sucks.
Yeah. He's here from Guile working as a ferryman. He takes money, but don't worry, it's not that much.
And Kid asks straight up, "Hey, can this thing get me into Viper Manor?" And Korcha is like, "Well, what do you want to do? Well, what's your deal here?" And Kid asks him not to snoop in his customer's privacy. And then he agrees to do it, but we must bring someone who knows how to get in there.
If you take the Guile path, you link them two together and apparently go with Guile. I haven't done that in 18 years. Yes, so next, if you back that thing up those stairs and go to Grifter's Row, there's actually a north passage as soon as you walk in after the caricature guy, right?
Yes.
And you can go to the smith.
There's a kid kind of on the rail there, hanging on the rail, looking at the stream, because you can see the stream that Korcha just went up. We can see that stream. And
is he in the red?
I don't remember. No, I think he's in blue.
Okay, all little kids are wearing doodle suits. Okay, yeah, doodle suits. Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard of a doodle suit before.
Neither have I, but it just seemed perfect.
Yeah. The kid says he loves boats but can't become a sailor because of seasickness. He has decided to become a ship craftsman and build the fastest and awesomest boat ever made.
He's also watching the boats off this bridge for research, and if you wait long enough, some Venice-style boats, tourist boats, go through this tunnel and cycle in and out.
Yeah, he also mentioned that Korcha's boat is the best.
Yes.
And he wants to make one like that one day, so cool.
Where they're talking up Korcha, the local hoodlum.
Yes.
There's a big white house with a fenced-in yard and green grass and a dog. There's also another kid in a red doodle suit running around in circles near a straw dummy.
Yes.
The house says Smithy.
Indeed.
Smithy. Did you go in Smithy?
I did go in Smithy. Inside, we meet Zippa.
Zippa works here.
Yeah,
this place is the official blacksmith of the Acacia Dragons.
Yes, this is who makes the guns for the police.
They carry only the best goods.
Yes. After you shop a little bit, which I think at this point in time I had enough to make a bronze swallow for my man Serge, but I didn't have enough copper for the others.
Yeah, I didn't have shit, so I didn't make shit.
Okay.
Zippa notes that she's out of iron.
Yeah, there's an iron shortage going on for some reason.
It could be used to make some stronger items if we had some. Hint, go get some iron, get some good weapons.
Yeah, well, couldn't find any till later. Then we go in the back and we speak with the master, or we speak with there's a man that's beating a sword with a hammer doing his blacksmithy stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's his like apprentice or helper or something is there.
Get the fuck out. What are you all doing?
Yeah. Master Zappa is back here working hard at the forge. He's also a portrait character. He's a grizzled man with a missing eye. But
huge scar.
He doesn't wear a fucking patch. He can't be bothered with that shit. He's got a huge scar over his eye. He gets pissed off that customers have been allowed back here. He says to his wife, "How many years have ye been my wife?" And Zippa says, "What's a big ape like ye worrying about such trivial stuff.
Didn't let the customers back here in his best Scrooge McDuck accent.
Yes, that's probably a better way to say
Also
it.
known as a Scottish accent.
Yes, Zappa doesn't expect a layman like us to understand what is going on, but he goes on to tell us that the art of smithing may seem like physical labor, but requires far more mental prowess. He talks about how his soul goes through the hammer into the weapon.
Excuse me, Chris, a wee bit of his soul.
Yes, thy soul is what makes the sword.
Address his Scottish heritage.
I love blacksmith lore. Anyway, he tells us to fuck off in his own way.
He concludes the sword he was working on. Like, it's funny. After he tells us to fuck off, he concludes the sword he was working on is no good.
Yeah.
And now he has to start over, then goes and puts it back in the furnace.
Yeah, he was putting his fucking soul in there.
This is really passive aggressive, though.
You can't disrupt that process.
Like, have you ever gotten mad at someone interrupting your shit and then just thrown the whole thing away as like a performance to start over again?
Yes, Eric, I have.
I've done that too.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I'm very easily distracted. So, in the back room, there's some plaques back here.
I missed this my first time, LOL.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't know it was a back room. I had to go back and find it.
We see some plaques. There's a Viper Cup that says Tournament of Swords Youth Division, second place, Sir Karsh.
There's also a lot of monogrammed rugs and curtains in here, and there's notes stuck to a corkboard, some picture frames, and one flamboyantly stupid-looking musketeer motherfucker looking at himself in the mirror.
Yeah, also there's a sick-ass sword rack over the fireplace, I think. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
There's also, this guy is introduced, this guy that you mentioned is introduced as Mysterious Swordsman. He's got a poem or something?
I think he might be my favorite character.
Okay. Oh, all right. He says, swordsmanship is as beautiful as a rose, the rouge ambition hidden beneath its beauty. Ah, these words fit moi perfectly.
Chris has to do all French accents because he took French.
Yes. This guy's Pierre.
Mm-hmm. He calls Serge Monsieur.
Yes, he is off to be the next Deva of Acacia or whatever, but he's lost his symbol of heroism.
He's renting this room from Zappa.
Yes.
The position is perfect for such a splendid swordsman as moi. He thinks that after one flash of his sword, they will be saluting him as the guest of honor.
Yes, for sure.
But he lost his damn medal of heroism, which is definitely an important and real thing that will give him credibility.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, you used to not be able to enter the backyard of this place when you walked up, but now if you go out the back door or back out through the front of the backyard, it's accessible.
Yeah, there was like a dog in the way, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Outside, there's a kid. He's got the hero medal. That was a hard quest, Eric.
Yeah, he's running around in his own doodle suit.
Yes. He hands it over because he doesn't want to be seen as a thief. He doesn't want to lose any alignment points here. That's an ogre battle reference. There's also a scarecrow out here, Eric.
Yeah, it's a training dummy for Zappa to go out and test his steel on his cold hard steel. But I didn't have mojo because I don't play this game with losers.
Yeah, mojo perks up. He says, "Brother, no, it's very similar, but it's not him." So that's all we get. So apparently, Mojo is looking for his long lost brother.
Oh, okay. I was expecting lover just because Mojo is all about love.
Yeah, it's true, but it's fraternal love.
Why not both?
Yes.
Also, I talked to this kid before. I talked to Pierre, and if you talk to him, he said if he finds a super shiny metal and it blings on his chest when he speaks about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was a tough quest there. So we've got the hero medal, and once he hands that over...
Well, did you talk to the girl back here too? In the backyard?
I have some lore about the hero medal, but I think I actually have that during the Pierre pass. We'll just cover it then. Yeah, go ahead with the girl.
The girl here makes reference to Pierre, who's staying at Zappa's place. He says he's a hero, but to her, he sounds fishy.
Yep.
He talks strange, and anyone who believes him is either too honest or too gullible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's at the straw hut.
Yes. Before
the straw hut. Did you go into the straw hut that's also back here?
I did. There's some additional stuff on the walls here. There's this seems like I thought it was like a shed, but it's actually a house.
Yeah, it's like a pool house or something.
Yeah.
Like is the other house Zappa rents, I guess.
There's a sparkle in the closet, so I went there first, and you get a note there. It says Viper Cup, Tournament of Swords, Youth Division, runner-up, Sir Glenn. And then you go on the other side of the room, and there's a trophy. It's first place, Sir Dario. And then there's also a small cartoon crayon drawing on the wall.
Yeah.
That says, I'm going to be in the Acacia Dragoons, 3 exclamation points.
Oh, really? I couldn't make that out.
Signed, Glenn. No, you actually go and click on it, and it gives you the information.
That? Okay.
Yeah.
Also in this room, there are 2 brothers, one in red and one in blue, facing opposite sides of the room. They refuse to talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady in green notes that the brothers are always fighting over something. Dario and Glenn once lived here peacefully. They were poor, but happy.
Yes. She says Mr. Glenn respected his brother more than anyone else. So this is giving you some additional information about Glenn, and I actually got this before I met Glenn in the shrine, so I kind of had a little bit more context when I was first going through this. And that's it, right?
Yeah, that's all I got there.
Then we head north towards a mansion. It's the largest house in this place.
This is Big North House. It is the
Yes.
final screen for this part of the thing.
When you go inside, it looks like somewhere that Jim Nance would live.
Oh, I put Jim Nance. God damn it. Why do you have a fantasy about what Jim Nance's houses look like?
Because there were all these funny details that came out of his divorce
Oh,
lawsuit.
really?
Yeah.
About some dumb shit that rich Jim Nance was
he
into?
He apparently carries a picture of how he likes his toast. He likes burnt toast. And this is
I've heard about this for haircuts, but for toast?
This is urban legend. I don't know if this is true, but he prints out a picture of his of toast, how he likes it to look, and he folds it up and he keeps it in his wallet. So if he goes somewhere for breakfast after calling up, the Masters or whatever, he opens it up and he hands it to.
I respect servers too much to do that, but I really want to do that.
Yeah.
It's like here, you don't serve toast? Whatever. Make me bread that looks like this.
One of the reasons that his wife cited for wanting to leave him was because he wanted to have like a giant portrait of himself in his house.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah. Like unironically,
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go find somebody I work with that I admire and take off my sock and be like, here. The Jim Nance house is a good pool, but do you know whose house I think this is?
Who?
Elohim Van Houten.
Yeah, it is Ellie's house.
Fucking
You're
Elohim
right.
Van Houten-ass house. Marble floors, empty entrance room, a giant painting next to a potted plant. There's a maid here walking up and down a wide staircase. There's also a suit of armor tucked in the corner.
Yeah, she's getting her steps in, I guess.
Did you go behind the stairs?
Yes, I did. There is something behind there. It's the profiteer purse.
Yes, this will increase gold after a battle by 123%,
Cool.
but has a better use of being broken down into iron and copper, which can be processed into some pretty sweet-ass early game weapons.
Oh, shit, I've missed that.
Did you do? Oh, so you didn't try to break it down?
No, I only got an upgraded weapon for Surge before I went to the next part.
Because
so.
that's your hint that this can be broken down into iron, because
Yeah.
they need iron.
Yeah.
I didn't do it either because I would prefer to, instead of short-term gains, I want that like extra bonus cash should I need cash later in this game.
Yeah.
Did you talk to the maid?
Yes, she says that Master Gogh is presently not here.
You spoke to her, but you missed a crucial part of her dialogue.
I think I did.
She asks if we're the young master's friends.
Oh.
Chris, is Bart here?
Oh.
Or is there a young master in every game?
Well, yes, there is a young master in every game.
Okay.
I can name a couple other games. What?
I went to, go ahead, do it.
Suikoden.
Awesome.
That's it.
You said couple, I need one more. Tekken 2, okay.
All right, go ahead.
So, do you went upstairs first or into the left room first?
I went upstairs first, actually.
Okay, let's go upstairs.
Okay.
It's an art studio.
Yes, there's a huge art room with paintings, paints, sculptures, and glass ceilings. There's a lot going on here.
The table on the right has a bunch of paint supplies and stacks of easels next to it. The back wall has a bunch of paintings on the floor.
Yeah, and
the left side is a single desk and a door that extends out onto a deck that overlooks the water.
This apparently opens up into, like, has huge glass doors or something that open up onto this balcony where there's a kid standing there overlooking the sea doing a painting.
The music fades slightly when you go approach him.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's to emphasize the waves, maybe.
Yes, this is Van.
Yes.
Or Vaughn.
Yeah, go figure. His dad's name is Gogh. His name is Vaughn.
He's
Weird.
wrapped up in his work, stating, "Bother. That's not it. Something is missing." But he thinks he's on the right track.
Yeah, he's a very snooty-looking kid, but he's actually got a pretty good heart, I think.
Yes, but you, the troop of strangers and or dog and or straw men in his house, he sees you.
Yes.
And he says, "What's your opinion of this?"
Yeah.
And your options are, "I think it's good," or, "But is it art?"
Yeah.
What'd you pick?
I think, but is it art?
So did I. I think we're the same person.
He said, what would you know?
Yeah, I don't like his purple hair or his dumbass yellow hat, so I pick, "But is it art?"
Yeah.
Who strolls in?
It's father. He tells Vaughn that he's back early, but off on another business trip soon. He tells Vaughn to do accounting rather than painting.
Yes.
Because he'll never make a living off painting. He says, if there's anything you need, tell the maid, which is a cold thing for a father to say to his son.
Mm-hmm.
This is reality. Let's go. If there's anything you need, tell the maid. Same energy.
Van notes that his father had promised to go to the festival with him, concluding his father doesn't care about his promises.
Yeah.
Van resolves to put his arms on the railing and stare out into the ocean.
Yes.
Van doubts his father even notices the colors of the view here. The colors of the sea and sky far surpass the beauty of the gems he collects.
Mm-hmm.
He doubts if his father really was a painter in his youth. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I've got too. You covered all that. So then you go downstairs, you can talk to the maid again, and she gives you some additional lore.
Oh, yeah? What'd she say?
She
I
says
didn't get that.
The master was a promising artist, but since her ladyship had a frail constitution, she fell ill after the birth of the young master. I like the word constitution used in this context to talk about
very regal.
Your vitality. The only person that I know that uses it contemporarily is Bomani Jones, so shout out.
I was going to say anybody born in the 1920s, but
The maid also says that he changed that day and became all about that dollar bill. It's not how she said it, but that's what she said.
I mean, I don't know how I would react if my wife died in childbirth, but maybe I'll get obsessed with money. Who knows?
Who knows? It's a weird thing. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, you can go to the dining room then. This is my first trip to it.
Oh, I put sitting room. It's interesting you picked a dining room.
Well, you can sit in the dining room, so we're both right.
There are 2 lavender couches opposing each other, along with a lavender marble table in the center. 3 paintings are on the north wall.
Yes.
All the furniture is sitting on a giant orange rug shaped like a stingray, ?
I guess.
Complete with hilarious stingray eyes.
Yes.
Light is shining through all 3 windows as it reflects the dust idling in the room.
Mm-hmm.
The wine bottle here is full of what?
It's full of Dragon's Glory.
Didn't you drink that earlier?
No, that was one of the ingredients for the churros.
Oh, okay.
So, interesting.
Churro minigame and Chrono Cross remake.
There's also a cat statue there. That's a Lucky Charm, Lucky the cat or something.
Lucky the cat. Did you go to the 5-step scroll?
Yes. What are the 5 steps for
making money? They're all like some variation of save money.
It's like save money, save more money, skip step 3, save more money, etc. Yeah, it's stupid.
If you examine the chest of drawers under all the paintings, Chrono Cross declares that you can't say it is a skillful work, but it certainly has beauty.
Yeah. Chrono Cross is just going to go ahead and evaluate that for you. You get no options to evaluate the painting with your own eyes. At this point in time, Gogh is in here.
Oh, I didn't. I did it first. He wasn't in here for me.
So if you go back in here after you talk to him, Gogh is in here.
You got some bonus Gogh. Hey, Chris,
yes.
How'd that go?
It goed great, Eric. Gogh's in here and he says he can't sleep anymore because he's afraid the radical dreamers are coming to steal his treasure.
Whatever, dude. That's inspiration.
Yeah.
They want my money.
If I had a bunch of treasure for no reason like this motherfucker, then I would want somebody to come steal it because I would need some excitement in my life.
Yeah, just come take all my Saturn games, please.
Yes. Somehow.
Don't hurt the cat.
Yeah.
You need to get rid of all this shit.
He then begins to wonder aloud if life has any meaning. He has all this shit in a maid, but he wonders if he has lost something very dear to him.
Maybe he does need to go do accounting, man.
Who, his son?
Yeah.
Or maybe Gogh needs to go back and do more painting.
Somebody's got to go do something.
Yeah. Like, Dad is very sad, and it gives you an additional layers to this asshole businessman dad and lets you know that maybe at one point in time he had a good heart. Who knows? Maybe we can find out in a different timeline, huh? So, at this point in time during the game, you've got to decide who you're going to go with to get into Viper Manor. Once you choose that character, it switches to the Viper Manor chapter, but we will just cover that when we get to Viper Manor. Who do you want to do first?
Let's do Pierre.
Yeah, let's do Pierre. Let's go give Pierre his hero medal. Now, Eric, hero medal is an item in Chrono Trigger as well that Frog needs to prove his worth at some point. The medal signifies the wearer is worthy of the legendary sword, the Masamune, or Masamune, however you like to say it. In the DS relocalization, it was called the Hero's Badge. Now, I think that Pierre's is like a ripoff because Pierre's a joke, but it's definitely a slight reference to that. So, when you give it to him, Pierre is super happy.
Yes.
He says merci, merci a bunch, and he calls me a darling.
He checks his hat, taps his sword, points his finger to the sky indoors, and says, "Now follow my lead to Viper Manor, faithful followers."
Yes. After all, thorns like us would be necessary to add charm to a rose. And then it says, Pierre gracefully joined the party.
Yes, victory noise.
Yes.
Did you see what the hero medal does?
No.
24% to evasion.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So it actually does something.
Let's point out here that Pierre is the absolute embodiment of every fancy French stereotype ever made.
Mm-hmm.
From the feather in his giant fucking hat to his glamorous boots. All of it. It all
goes. You want to read
there.
his bio at this point?
Yes, let's read his bio. Pierre is the self-proclaimed hero. He is age 23. His origin is Termina, from another world, so he lives here, I guess. He is 5'11", 130 pounds. His build is weakling. He's right-handed, and his name in Japanese is also Pierre. His innate element is blue, and his weapon is the sword plus hero blade, which I guess is something you can get later.
Off to Viper Manor.
Off to Viper Manor, my man.
When you get there, there's just the noise of birds idling. And this MF just walks up to the front gate.
Yeah, I wrote that Pierre starts Pierring.
Yes.
Because his plan is to just go directly to the front gate and to request to join the Dragoons.
His opening line is, "You who there?"
Yes, it's glorious.
Monsieur, soldier man. Moi have come to do you a favor and join the Dragoons. Open the gates, mon frere, ta-ta-ta.
Yeah, mon frere I think is my friend, but yes. The guards tell him to fuck off. Dude, they don't need any street performers.
That's a really good line.
Yeah.
Now go home, get.
The fuck out of here.
But like when he does that, they face each other, then face back to Pierre and say that. Like there's some physical comedy going on.
Yes, absolutely. It's pretty good. Pierre like falls back.
And they treat him like an animal. Now go home, get.
Yes. At this point, you have the opportunity, at Pierre's suggestion, to think up a plan, charge, or leave.
Yeah, well, he says, they said no, and he's disappointed his hero's medal didn't work. Yeah, but you can charge, So charge, think up a plan, leave. What'd you pick?
I picked think up a plan.
So did I.
Yes.
I wanted to pick charge real bad.
Yeah.
But...
I'm pretty sure that the outcome is exactly the same.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I should have picked leave because I forgot to equip elements on Pierre at first, but I did later. So at this point, he says, once you decide to think of a plan, he says he will act like he is malade, which I think means sick. He approaches the guards and falls over, pretends to be sick, and the guards kind of stare at him for a minute and then call for help.
He has like a really slow motion captured collapse.
Yes, it's very cartoonish and dramatic. Yeah. It's great.
The guards, they say, this Joker fell sick. What should I do? And then one says, whatever, just get rid of him.
Yeah.
Once they come.
I of course, generally appreciate sprite characters more than I do with 3D modeled characters, but the fact that we have 3D modeled characters in this game gives us a lot more opportunity for them to do unique, weird animations in these cases. So in this, they definitely leverage that in a really good way.
The silence and the bird noises help sell the comedy of this
really well. Yeah, is there no music at all?
No, it's just the bird noises. And then the Viper Manor gate opens. And 2 helper guards walk out.
Yes.
Kid, do you have a kid with you?
I do.
She asks what to do next, and Pierre gets up and screams, charge.
Yes.
It's a pretty good plan.
He just stands up and Leroy Jenkins.
The gate's open,
yes, it's Leroy Jenkins all over again.
But the guard immediately gets in front of Pierre and says, you asked for it.
Yes.
And the battle starts.
You've got to fight some Acacia privates. We beat them up, and...
the battlefield is Viper Manor in the daytime, which I don't think we see at any other point.
Pierre, in terms of his movements and his attacks, he's I would describe him as a fabulous fencer, where he's very dramatic about his parries and his thrusts to the degree that fits his character very well.
The Viper Manor, at least this battle screen, looks like the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles to me, where it's very clay-made, very palm trees out front, kind of regal and kind of, but like McMansion-ish too, a little bit.
Yeah. We then go at it with 2 sergeants after we beat those 2 guys, right?
Well, you said beat, Chris. I'm pretty sure we just murdered.
Yeah, we killed them.
We've taken life.
They're dead. Then we must kill 2 sergeants. These are the same as before, but I think they're wearing goldish armor.
Yeah, they're there's like a different class on them.
It's privates then sergeants.
Glenn's just a private.
At this point in time, I used Pierre's ability called Meddlesome, spelled specifically MEDALSOM, like, hero metal, get it, LOL.
Yeah, what's that do?
It's his tech. It's his first level tech, a blue element healing spell. He prays to the hero metal and gains HP. And we haven't talked about Surge's and Kid's abilities at this point in time because we really haven't had an opportunity to use them. Surge has his first tech that I think we got at star level 4, maybe, is dash and slash, where he does. How would you describe dash and slash?
Just a standard physical attack, right?
Yeah, but the camera angle is cool because the camera shifts from behind the enemy.
Like that. You can press triangle and switch from between dynamic and then just a standard camera.
Yeah, during battle.
Yes,
yes,
that's neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can do that. I think the standard one just shows the whole battlefield, and the dynamic one will zoom in on the enemies and stuff. But dash and slash will move the camera behind the enemy, and Surge will kind of slash through him, Ninja Gaiden 1 style, and then if you defeat them with that move, they slowly fall to their death animation. It looks really cool. Kid's first tech is Pilfer, which is just steal. Yeah. And she has some pretty cool animations after she kind of runs cartoonishly after the enemy and then cartoonishly grabs a
bag.
A bag, and I think they spin around like in fucking Looney Tunes. And then if she has the bag, she kind of...
You say has the bag. Has she ever failed?
Yeah, she fails once. She kind of like just...
I've never seen her fail.
I've only had her fail once. She just kind of like a drat motion.
At this point in the game, I'm still doing usually 1 round of physicals and then my most powerful element because battles are usually over in 1 or 2 turns. There's not really a lot of strategy necessary.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of bushwhacker at this point.
Yes. Once you beat the 2 sergeants, by the way, you get star level.
Yes.
So thank you for that. Next.
After we kill 2 more people, we can just walk right in.
Yes.
Who shows up?
Well, it's our good pals Salt and Pepor. They're here. They say someone shook the gate open.
Someone shook the gate open. They're very intimidated. Salt looks at us and recognizes Surge.
Mm-hmm.
He can't believe we got through the front gate. Quote, "We're going to shake it to you good and get our revenge."
Yes.
battle starts.
Just as this is a good example of something I really like in RPGs, which maybe the moment doesn't play out here very well, but I like when the boss music starts before the battle screen actually splashes, and Brink of Death plays. And that, I guess Brink of Death is the boss music.
Edge of Death.
Yeah. Edge of Death, Brink of Death, yes. So, we get into the battle, and what happens?
Dialogue. Pepor is still incensed about us strolling in front of the gate. He vows to give us the shaking we deserve.
Mm-hmm.
They taunt Surge and say they brought something big and tough.
Yes.
I assume they're going to pull the same shit they did in Nikki's path, which we'll talk to later. But they don't. What happens is so much better.
Yes. They brought Ketchop.
Catch tilta up.
Yes, he comes out. He screams tomato in all caps.
Come out wherever you are.
Yes, he is. I describe him as a giant oaf who wears the gold-tinted plate armor like his compatriots. He has a cartoonishly swirly mustache.
Yes, he also comes out in one-shots Surge.
Yes, in my case, he did 468 damage.
I also put he has too many front teeth.
Yeah, he does, actually. He he screams sauce after that, and and then in parentheses sometimes it says he seems happy, ... or perhaps ? So I think we're trying to get some commentary here on like what's this guy's mood. I don't understand if he's
whatever his mood. It makes Salt extremely confident. He knows that they're now going to win for sure. Pepper thinks Ketchup is a manly man.
Yes.
Pepper then tells Ketchup to try out his special karate Ketchop.
Oh, yes. Before this happens, though, Salt revives Surge.
Yes.
Which is hilarious.
Pepper says, this is the first profanity I think I've seen. He says, what the hell are you doing? What did you heal them for?
Dumbass.
Salt explains that he thought we all wouldn't get to see how fiercely fierce Ketchup is if they were left exhausted like that.
Yes.
So does exhausted, when Surge is passed out, he's not dead. He is, quote, exhausted.
Yeah, I think so.
Pepor asks if he has his priorities straight and notes that his actions have defeated their whole purpose.
Yeah.
Quote, do it again and you're shaking dead meat, Salt. Ketchup then screams sauce again.
Indeed. So then the battle starts proper, and for a while, Ketchup doesn't do anything.
No.
You're just kind of, I decided to go after Salt and Pepper first, and you fight them for a little bit, but eventually, I guess Ketchup is building up some aggression, and he gets a little bit miffed at Salt and Pepper, and he picks up Salt and uses him as a baseball bat to smash Pepper into
Jesus
the party.
Christ.
It's fucking wild.
It's very necessary.
It's hilarious. I think it knocks them both out, too.
That didn't happen for me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see that.
Okay. It was great. I've got a screenshot of it. I'll share it with you. So at this point, once they're out, you just beat up Ketchup pretty much. He does pretty standard damage after that initial 468 damage.
I have a memory because I had picked Guile my first time through this because I played the correct way the first time.
Yes.
But our buddy Kyle had picked Pierre, and I remember just making fun of him incessantly for thinking that was the guy to go with.
Yeah.
It's like, where did you get him? What are you doing? Because he's like, he sucks. He can't hit anything.
Yeah, it's not very obvious that you've only got one choice. Although Kid does make a declaration that if we don't choose right, we're going to die. But really, if you don't choose right, you're going to get Pierre.
Yeah, that's it.
That's how it works. And so, do you have any notes on this guy's defeat?
No.
When you beat Ketchup, the camera then pans behind Ketchup so you can see him falling back until his head is looking directly back at him like he's passed out after drinking too much.
So Ketchup doesn't come back in this game. Did you kill him IRL?
I guess.
Okay,
I guess
great.
we've murdered him.
Cool.
It's funny, too, because when he falls back, his eyes are just wide open. He's just staring off into space.
It's like Major Pain.
Yeah, it's over. It's hilarious. And then, at that point,
Pierre just suggests we wait until nightfall, and Kid's like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And then CG cutscene that we all get that ends all of these.
Yeah, we'll do the CG cutscene on the last one.
This week on the Super Nintendats, Blake J. Harris and Jonah Tulis, co-directors of Console Wars.
Is Nintendo the villain?
It's definitely a David and Goliath story. Sega could have had the PlayStation and the N64.
Oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever.
Blast Processing, Reebok Pumps. What is your favorite BS marketing push of all time?
Sonic 3 with lock-on technology and working with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, we
and all
love that. Were you Sega or Nintendo kids?
I mean, I was a Nintendo kid.
PS5 versus the Xbox. Who's coming out on top here? Right here on Greenlit. Video Deathloop is a podcast where we watch a short video clip on loop until we just can't take it anymore. Along the way, we'll try our best to make each other laugh and to hold out longer than the other guy. You can jump in on any episode, no need to worry about continuity. Check out Video Deathloop on the Greenlit Podcast Network with new episodes every Friday.
So I'm going to go with Guile. So all you have to do is go back to him and ask. He goes through all his dialogue cycle again, and you ask for his help, and it says Guile enigmatically joined your party.
Victory theme.
Yes.
Chris, tell me about Guile.
Guile. Before I tell you about Guile, he says that the target for the fortune teller's bet is in the Manor's mess hall. That's that's the item we're going to get for.
Oh yeah, Guile has like a separate side quest bet.
Yes, and ultimately it just comes to
prove to the fortune teller he's better.
Getting an item. Guile is a masked magician. His age is 26. He's a male. His origin is the Xenon mainland from another world. The Xenon mainland. That's where Chrono Trigger took place. Weird. His height is 6'2". His weight is 154 pounds.
Jesus.
His build is tall and slender, and he is right-handed.
6'2" and 150 is you need to get some better diet going on.
Yeah, you need to eat a little bit of
anything.
Some beans, please. His Japanese name is Alf.
What? The fuck alien life form?
I guess.
I mean, gee, how do you suppose that happened?
I don't know if that's true, because in Radical this character was inspired by the character in Radical Dreamers. I think
is that a wiki? Is somebody fucking with the wiki?
I don't fucking know. Take it for what it's worth. His innate element is black, and his weapon is a rod, which he controls telepathically in battle. He just has a rod that's floating in front of him while his hands are kind of in his pocket, and it goes out and it beats ass accordingly. Interestingly enough, when you do his level 3 attack, it shoots out little magic balls to every enemy on the screen.
Magic balls.
And each one has an individual calculation, so one could hit, one could miss, etc. Let's head on Guile's route. First things first, though, let's get Guile's fortune read.
Yeah.
Strangely, she does not read his fortune, though. She only comments about the wager. So,
Fortune delayed.
Fortune delayed.
Fortune delayed.
Also, when I was running back across the bridge, would you call it Deviant's Row or whatever?
Grifter's Alley.
Grifter's Alley. A person on the bridge will let us know that his nice, steady girlfriend has stopped playing house with him ever since she heard Nikki was coming. Is he that attractive?
Is she one of the groupies there banging down his door?
Probably, yeah. That was the first time I noticed that after I got Guile. I don't know what the trigger is there. Then you go back to Korcha. He repeats this whole goddamn thing, but this time Guile volunteers to be the guide. Guile assures Korcha that he knows how to get into Viper Manor, and we pay 100G. Korcha tells us that it'll be a little tight, but don't you worry about a thing. The implementation of Korcha's accent is odd. I just have a note that says that's weird.
None of these really carry very well.
Yeah, some do. Some are a little bit more subtle than others, and Korcha's is strange. We go all the way up the stream by the smithy and the manor, and on Korcha's boat.
So it reuses those backgrounds?
Yes, yeah, we just go straight on up, and it's pretty slow. And that if you've talked to that kid that's obsessed with
the kid in the blue doodle suit,
the one that's obsessed with shit making, he will say, "Hey, there goes those people I once talked to."
Nice.
So I guess
little kids do that shit though.
Yeah. Also, I wonder if you don't talk to that kid if that comes up. Who knows? That's not something we're going to explore in this podcast.
For Halloween, do you want to wear some doodle suits?
Sure. We also see the mermaid vendor guy who's pissed that we didn't listen. He's like, "Oh, look, there's those fucking people I warned about Korcha, and they're going with Korcha." So
that's gonna be weird, right? Like, don't fuck with this guy. Then you just see them going off on his boat, having actually paid Korcha money.
Yes. So then we get on and sail around on the world map to Viper Manor as the track Peril plays.
Oh, is that new?
Yeah, it plays us to the bluffs below Viper Manor.
FakeNet, what's that song actually called?
Initializing FakeNet.
It is also called Predicament.
Thank you. Those bluffs below Viper Manor, we are still hearing this song. It's kind of like just a bit of a subtle sneak-in song, kind of.
These bluffs that we're at, are they the same bluffs we see much later?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Exact same ones. You are ascending basically a series of ladders. As we get off the boat, Korcha says, "Don't you think it's pretty dangerous?" Guile doesn't have much to say. Kid thinks that Guile sounds pretty confident. And then she says, "All right, let's get our arses in gear."
Get your ass to Mars.
Yeah, so we're ascending up some very steep and very rocky beach cliffs. The type that...
Nathan Drake scales?
I was going to say the type that Macaulay Culkin let Elijah Wood
fall down.
Yeah, and The Good Son. That's the vibe I got because I think you can. I don't know if you can hear, but you can see those waves crashing at the bottom of those at those bluffs. And so, if this was supposed to be an impenetrable fortress, then I would think that they would not just have fucking rock ladders everywhere. But whatever. Yeah. There's a guard all the way. It scrolls to the top of Viper Manor, and this guard notices us and begins to toss fucking giant rocks.
Really?
Yes.
You can play a rock falling minigame?
Yes, there are rocks coming down at us, and they will do 10 damage to every character in the party if they hit us.
You can get wiped pretty easily doing that,
yes.
right?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, you got to break up the pacing. Who wants to just fight and explore? Not me.
So, essentially, this is just a vertical maze while dodging rocks and streams of water that will impede our progress. There was one treasure chest that I couldn't figure out how to get, so I don't know. But you basically have to just find the critical path and go straight through there, or you can take some slight detours to get a few treasure items, nothing of note. The bad guys here.
Uh-oh.
The first one, and I think this one appears in Viper Manor as well, but the first one is the Gobbledygook. It looks like a Dragon Quest Drake and Yomi took a nutrient bath together.
Yomi from Terranigma, patreon.com/Terranigma.
Yes.
No.
Its wings are coming from its head. It has 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 tails, and googly eyes. And when it's low on HP, its fucking tongue hangs out of its mouth and its eyes bug even further.
A lot of effort into these enemies.
It's good shit.
Yeah.
I love it. On the left-hand side of the mountain, you can attract another enemy called a Loch Nest. It is a nondescript nest that has 2 tiny, beady yellow eyes.
Come on, a nest?
Yes. These things drop magma bombs out the ass, so I have a lot of magma bombs now, so I don't know what I can do with those later.
Sell them.
I did find a meteorite element, which is a white element. It's pretty strong. I have it on Surge.
I found those from beating guards later on.
Yeah, you can get those later. I also found a free fall, which is a level 5 black element, which I can't even equip yet. It's the very top, I think.
You got some good stuff. I didn't get shit.
When you reach the top, the guard jumps down and initiates a battle. And then we have to face 3 of the Acacia privates like we had to do in Pierre's quest.
So what lesson did you learn here? Last time you learned about revive with Pierre. Do we learn any big time lessons here?
Murder.
Murder.
Just kill them.
Cool.
There's no dialogue here. These fools give us a star level. Thank you. The guard, who is representative of the party we just beat, grabs a rock.
Uh-oh.
And he tries to throw it at us. But it goes the wrong way.
How do you do that?
I don't know. It's weird.
It's boomerang?
It's very strangely animated. It draws out a large muscle harpy. You know what a harpy is?
A winged creature?
Yes, okay.
That seduces men?
Its name is King Momin.
I thought harpies were exclusively female, Chris.
I don't know. It looks like a harpy to me.
Kratos rips those fuckers apart.
Yeah, he does. He's also accompanied by, in this boss battle, by the blue and the red Momin. Brink of Death, of course, plays. This fellow has bird feet hands.
Oh, no.
He has bird feet hands and bird feet feet. In a very sick-looking multi-pointed weapon that appears to be exquisitely crafted and probably too hard to use. He also has human pectoral muscles.
That's not good.
His wings are coming out of his head.
Oh, no.
I want to know everything about him. He's very interesting looking.
Does he speak English?
No, he just wants to fight.
Okay, did the guards have this as like a backup plan? Is this their minion?
No, because
does this thing live here?
This thing fucks up the guard.
Okay.
So I think it accidentally threw the rock into this guy's territory.
Oh, I see. And then you've upset the gremlin.
They live in the bluffs of Viper Manor, I guess.
Right.
So he's got like I said, he's got 2 friends. They don't have wings, though. They're birdmen, but they don't have wings. This guy's got wings in his head, so I guess he's the chief.
Or he's Tom Petty.
Learned to
fly and got wings, sorry.
One of his buddies uses Nimble and Strengthen on its master to buff him up. And the other one does sick combos with an element called Flame Sword. I pilfered a copper.
These things sound hard.
This is the first boss battle that I had that was reasonably difficult.
Well, how's Guile? Is he doing anything? Is he cool? Does he do shit?
Guile's not very good at this point in the game because his element grid grows in reverse order. So most characters' element grids grow where you get more elements in the front end, level 1 in, and then it gets progressively
so it's like
smaller.
Almost Guile's like a late game character you got too early.
Absolutely, yes. So Guile doesn't have very many elements. His element attack, overall, this is a surprisingly good battle that you have to manage with a bit of finesse. It's not too hard, but you actually do have to pay attention to what you're doing and do a little bit of healing. And my question here is, when this thing dies, it's glorious. It has a better death animation than anything on the PlayStation. It like curls up into a ball and begins to slowly devolve into a pile of like black feathers.
Jesus.
It's like I just killed Sephiroth or something.
Yeah.
Like there's some real shit going on with this thing. But it has absolutely no lore. So I just thought it was cool. I got a star level, and I got a gravity blow element, which is a black element that's, I think, level 2 or 3. And then that's it. Kids suggest we wait until nightfall.
That's really good. That sounds like a pretty... Pierre's is dumb as hell, and you get... Like, Pierre's is clearly the joke path, but that sounds like actual cool shit path.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I don't think that the maze part was very fun to play.
Yeah, I know, but for its time, it was probably like, oh, it's cool. We built something. You just lose to climb the bluffs.
Yeah, for sure. So that's it.
So next we have, finally, Nikki's right. And canonically, Chris picked Guile for real, and I picked Nikki for real. We just did Pierre to have # content.
Yes.
So Nikki's route. Oh, and the way this game works, like Pierre, if you don't get him, you can't get him.
No, that's it. You've got to play this game, 3 times through to get everybody?
Yeah, or do some new game plus chicanery. So I have Nikki forever. Chris has Guile forever. With Nikki's route, we were told by Mickey we have to go to Shadow Forest. So I did. Mm-hmm. I went to Shadow Forest. The music, Shadows and Forest plays.
Cool.
What do you have that? Do you have that called anything special?
I don't have the music yet.
Cool. Shadow Forest is lush with green grass, but the canopy is so thick the entire place is dark, as if it were cast in shadow. A shadow forest, if you will.
It looks great.
There are some strange arching rock structures and a river system flowing through the center. Surge is greeted by 2 Acacia guards and 1 huge motherfucker.
Yes.
A helmeted beefcake named a Dragoon. This man says in all caps, "We cannot allow you to go beyond this point. I ask that you turn back." That's when I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot to go tell Mickey I was down for the plan.
Oh, yeah, so you had to go back. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I went back, and if you come back, they're not even there.
Oh, okay. So she's already done her work.
Yes. So the enemies are gone. So there's enemies here. One is a bulb, which is an onion-looking rocking horse thing. They have Gumby arms and look like garlic. They also have extremely pronounced lips and seem to be wearing a necklace. The battle arena is in the middle of the forest. The party is surrounded by water, except for the walking path behind them. In the center of the path is an active water spout that could possibly qualify as a waterfall. Large trees from the Haunted Woods in Mortal Kombat 2 compose the backdrop.
Thank you, Mortal Kombat 2, for showing up.
Friendship.
I can approach these like orange-pink worm things that bob back and forth on a rock. It makes a strange noise when I approach them, but they don't do anything.
They kind of look like Wobbuffet.
Yeah, yes, they are definitely Wobbuffet. They're just kind of these dumb-looking anthropomorphic blobs. The second screen, there's motion in the bottom left corner. This part of Shadow Forest is more like a carved path instead of a dense, untamed forest. The motion is Nikki. Nikki runs off the bottom left side. He's speaking to one of those green bobbing monsters and screaming, "Listen to my song." And then Nikki sings, quote, "Oh, oh, 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 sweet sister of mine."
Oh, is that supposed to be Sweet Child of Mine?
I believe so, which means Nikki is Axl Rose now.
Okay.
Or Sheryl Crow, I guess. Nikki apparently is still in mid-bender.
Yeah.
He sees something else and runs off in the other direction.
Yes.
And around here, there is some chests. I found an arrow saucer element and an uplift element, which I've got like 3 of.
Yeah.
It becomes clear at this point in the game that like, oh, these elements aren't like materia you can just get one of.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of these things lying around.
Yeah.
The third screen has a giant buckyball off on the east side, the flowing waterfall from the battle screen, and a path down to a lagoon.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki is now being stalked by a pair of tall, bronzed warriors with giant ear helmets. They're carrying spears, and Nikki is afraid and can't take them on alone. I run to intercede because I'm the hero of this video.
Good job. When I first saw those guys, I thought that maybe they were the same as the Momin tribe that had fought in Guile's
a little bit,
but they're not. I don't think they're birds, right?
They look like a tribe in Final Fantasy 12 too. They're very kind of Native American influenced, I think.
Yeah.
I intercede. Nikki is fighting with us in like a pincer attack, but he's not controllable. You know what Nikki's weapon is?
A guitar?
It's a guitar.
Yeah.
All 3 warriors take turns beating the shit out of Nikki. They're called cassowaries. You earn a 4th star after this battle after you return the shit beating and kill them. After that, Nikki jumps in the river and runs into a hole below a waterfall.
He doesn't even thank you, does he?
No, he's on one.
Yeah.
He's clearly at the end of some kind of binge. Kid wonders what Nikki's problem is.
Mm-hmm.
I follow Nikki inside this waterfall hole. It's a small cave with one of those blue googly-eyed monsters, a chest, and then a pink note. And Nikki sees my approach and says, "It's you." Then he notices the paper, the pink note, and walks over to pick it up. So it's like he briefly sees a thread. It's like, oh, fuck, it's you. Hey, some paper.
Yeah, cool. Hey.
He's very entertained. Kid says, nice attitude, capital letters, freak.
Wow. That's not a very nice thing
We
to say.
saved your life. You could at least thank us. Nikki no-sells this insult and asks if we're off to Viper Manor. He asks us to take him with us. Kid asks, who the bloody hell are you? And then recognizes him from the poster in Termina.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Kid set out our whole conversation with Mickey and the entire reason we're coming here.
Yeah, she wasn't paying attention.
Nikki believes his sister is in Viper Manor.
Yeah. That's a twist.
Yeah, I was like, isn't Mickey his sister? Maybe he has more than one sister. Kid questions this, but Nikki deflects and suggests he'll let us in on a secret if we'd let him join our party.
Right.
You can reply with sure or nah.
Yeah.
I pick sure.
So then Nikki joined the party.
Nikki joined the party. Victory music. Chris, do you have some Nikki information for me?
I'm pretty sure it says Nikki joins the band. Yeah.
I forgot those were all unique at this point.
Yeah. So yes, I do have some information on Nikki. Nikki is the rockin' bard superstar. He is 19 years old. His origin is a boat, the SS Zelbus, from another world. He is 6 feet tall and he weighs 115 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah, everybody's way too thin. His build is also thin. He's right-handed. His Japanese name, interestingly enough, is Slash. So now he's also Axel and Slash.
Yeah, at the same time.
This is according to RPG Shrines, the author. I don't know. I'm just going to read this.
Ozzy's in a pickle.
Yeah. It says, an interesting bit of information. Ozzy, Flea, and Slash from Chrono Trigger, named after Ozzy Osbourne, Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Slash from Guns N' Roses, were originally called vinegar, soy sauce, and mayonnaise. They liked the name Slash so much they stuck with a real musical character, which meant they had to change one to something else. I think they chose Nikki because it's an androgynous name.
There's also weird interceding real life lore there where Slash played with Michael Jackson for like Beat It a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It says his accent is normal, but sometimes uses words like rockin'.
So rocker guy.
Yeah.
So Nikki then asks if we'd like to hear a song. You could. I'm yes, I do.
Of course, yes. Tell me your song.
The only choices are no thanks, nah, and maybe later.
That's typically what you say to somebody who just solicits you with a song in a forest, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Take my mixtape.
Yes.
So then Nikki tells us the secret. The secret is, in order to get into Viper Manor, we have to go through the big water vein further up. Kid notes that there's a humongous monster in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And Nikki says that in order to move it, we have to feed it one of the monsters in the forest.
Yes.
These googly creatures.
Googly eyes.
Nikki wasn't quite sure, but then he found this notebook, which is that note. It says to lure monsters with their favorite food. Nikki then explains the minigame.
Yeah.
There are plants in this forest, and how the different pollen they emit can create different aromas. There are 3 total plants and 3 total monsters, which account for the orange, green, and blue adorable blob creatures we've seen so far. Nikki then bails and says he'll be staying by the port in Termina. Call on him anytime, which is strange. So I call this motherfucker up right now, and he gets in my party right now.
Yeah, okay.
You don't have to take him to Viper Manor, I don't think.
Yeah, but you do. There's some interesting things that happen there if you take him, right?
Yes, if you do later.
So isn't it weird that it makes you leave this cave, then you have to go back in to get this shit?
Yeah, well, kind of. Here's the thing. Oh, my next note is Nikki doesn't bail. He just explains where he'll be this entire video game.
Yes.
So I guess you do got to take him.
Yeah.
So then Nikki says, now for a song, and Kid immediately says, okay, let's get going. Everybody leaves. Nikki is denied a song again. Nikki will have his song in time, Chris.
Yes.
So the note on Aroma Punch, it says to use it on monsters in the forest. I'm like, is this an item, an element that I have to equip and use? And you're supposed to experiment with which one gives off aromas and use pollen and all that stuff. It's like, whatever. You have to actually do some Pied Piper shit where you touch one of the 3 buckyball pollinator things.
Yeah.
And then that will emit a scent that temporarily will let you kite one of the blob creatures to this monster. I misunderstood this. You're only supposed to feed it one, and then it does something different. I fed it all 3 of these fucking things.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah.
You got an achievement.
Yeah, achievement unlocked. It took a long time to do that.
Did you go back in the cave that he was in to get that treasure chest?
Yeah. Immediately I went back into that cave, and then mixed among the pile of bones is one bone different from the rest. Because the guy that wrote this note clearly died in that cave. I collect it. I got, quote, angry scapula.
Yes.
Skelly then appears and says, that's right. I was always pissed off about something. I think I was angry at myself for having no talent. Everyone would just laugh or mock me. I hated myself. God damn it.
I want to unravel the mystery of Skelly, so I hope I'm allowed to go here and get this as well.
Yeah, I think Shadow Forest is just accessible for something else later.
Yeah.
So then I had a big time figuring out what the hell Aroma Punch was. And then the monster eventually is called Quaffid.
That's the boss monster?
The boss monster that you, like, if you feed him 2 of these things, I think you fight it. But the one I fed it eventually, I guess the last one I fed it, which consequently is the one you have to go back to the first screen and make it kite all the way back, and it loses the scent. You have to keep going back and forth. It fucking sucks. So the Quaffid is a massive dumb mouth plant thing with 4 legs, silly boy hat leaves, an organic scrotal dumpster dangling below its chest.
Cool.
So it shrinks and then says, and then what'd you call it? SpongeBob language?
Yeah.
It says, I'll give you this, please forgive me. And then Serge receives the skullduggery frame, which is a frame with a bunch of skulls.
Cool.
It's awesome.
So in the Let's Play that I watched on this, they must have given him the right one to where they didn't have to fight it?
It's, blue is not fight, red makes it, blue and green make you fight it, red makes it run away.
Oh, okay.
Or shrink, I guess is what it did for me.
Yeah.
If you leave and come back, those hunter things that fought Nikki, the cassowaries, are now wandering around this place. So it's replaced the garlic enemies with these fuckers.
Yes.
And then there are also couscous, which are Ren Hoek-looking dipshits with mustaches that circumnavigate their head and with amazingly twitchy tails. They also keep scratching their ears and have kangaroo legs.
Ah, great.
So then, Chris, the excellent scene.
Yes.
The final screen is a third screen with a single big tree surrounded by water with a hole in the center. Just like somebody at the bar, I think, said.
Yeah.
As we enter the water, 2 soldiers drop out of the air into the water. The camera then pans up to reveal birds flying away in the most majestic thing I have ever seen. It's the beefcake man from earlier, Dragoon, standing shirtless in the tree branches. He says, in all caps, "This path leads to Viper Manor. Whatever your business may be, I cannot let you through." He then leaps down 4 stories.
It's amazing.
And splashes into the water.
It's an amazing perspective.
Edge of Death plays. Yeah, this was directed as shit.
Yeah.
He introduces himself in the battle as Zoah, one of the 4 devas of the Acacia dragons. He recognizes me as Serge and thinks this is interesting. Zoah vows to let us pass if he is defeated. He's a man of principle.
Yes, he is.
So
Even though he yells
Yeah,
constantly.
even though he types in all caps, which I think was a thing at that point.
Yeah.
Of substitute yelling. So at this point, I noticed his subordinates are fucking Salt and Pepper.
Yeah, they're just here.
Yeah. Salt is prepared this time, telling Pepper he brought a brilliant element, a summoning element. Pepper thinks this is shaken. When Pepper tries to use his element, Gollum, nothing happens. Pepper notes that he forgot you can't use a summon element until the whole field is the color of that summon.
Right.
So we're being tutorialized here.
It's weird you don't get any of that with Guile.
Right? So they're just you can expect what kind of shit this is. Salt, well, you learned about reviving.
Yeah.
Salt tells him to turn the field that color. Then Pepper reminds Salt they already used up the element in the battle and can't use it again. They bicker some more and Zoah screams, "Are you clowns finished with your comedy act yet?"
Yes.
We fight, and I hit Zoah with Nikki's grand finale tech, in which he takes out a guitar and smashes it over Zoah's head.
Yes.
The remainder of Nikki's physical attacks are Nikki shredding his guitar and weak as shit.
So when he does the tech, he becomes Kurt Cobain at that point in time, right?
Yeah, basically just smashing that shit.
Yeah, it's great.
Nikki is every rock star from 1993.
Yes.
You get a star after the victory. Then the music Leaving the Body plays as Zoah takes a knee. Zoah says, in all caps, "Ugh, very well. I shall let you pass. Ha, we shall meet again." And then he leaps back up into the tree branch 100 feet high.
Oh, wow. He doesn't even load up his jump very much, does he?
No.
He's awesome.
We're alone on this serene screen as the music continues to play. In the corner, underwater, is a chest with a heal element. Inside this tree, once we go in, are enemies called Gerades, which might as well be cockroaches with grasshopper legs.
Ah.
There are multiple screens of this underground tunnel. It's very dark and damp, always moving through water surrounded by green tunnel features. At some point, fucking infinite Gerades are just rushing down this path nonstop. This is very annoying.
Yes.
Because you have to stay on this invisible path or else the water pushes you back too. So I can't figure this shit out because they just keep doing, I fight like 10 battles. It's very annoying. I'm getting mad at this game that I just call it like very progressive ahead of its time, suggesting the player to just this very stupid shit.
Yeah.
But then, I was going the wrong way.
Yes.
You are supposed to go on this green side path, this green land bridge that leads up to a huge rock that's blocking the way. My first time up here, I didn't think to push the rock.
Oh, so that slows the water down.
Yes, you push the rock, it goes in front of there, it slows the water down and also cuts off the cockroach hole.
Oh, good.
So they stop trying to assault you.
Okay, puzzle solved.
Yeah. Also,
Onions
you have to
thwarted.
face a wrath
He means Wraith.
up here, which is an enemy. It's a Hunchback of Notre Dame looking motherfucker with a dead black hands wearing a potato bag. It also has glowing white eyes and clown feet, which are also backwards.
Oh, clown feet also backwards.
Yeah.
.com.
So right before I leave this cave, a pink Jigglypuff falls out of the sky and ambushes my party. These are called goop. They look like pieces of gum mixed with the jellyfish race from Mass Effect the Hanar.
Yeah, I think I may have encountered some of those on Gal's Path as well.
Yeah. I think they're in the mansion later as well.
Yeah.
So there's a chest on a ledge by the exit. I have no idea how to get to this. And then that's it. We enter the mansion, CG cutscene.
That's it. So let's talk about the CG cutscene before we wrap up here. Because at the end of each path, Kid, well, I guess it depends on the character. In my case, it was Kid. Suggests that we wait until nightfall. Then we get a CG cutscene of Viper Manor. Do you have a description of this?
I've got a zoom out shot over a castle with a dragon flying over a moon.
The moon is fucking huge, and this is the first time that we understand there's two moons. And we see the dragon flying in the white moonlight, while the red moon is slightly in front of it. So, kiss the moons is now a literal thing and not just something that Kid says.
Kick your ass to the moons.
Yes, both of them. Both of them. And that's it.
For this episode.
We're going to Viper Manor next time. It's going to be great. But first, we will consult the RealNet.
Initializing RealNet.
Carfo says, disassemble the Profiteer's purse.
Yeah, that's just, I didn't think the upcoming battle is still in like a beginner area were going to be too challenging, so I wanted to keep my money-making abilities because I like money.
SSD Ninja says, iron shortage, looks like it's time for Ark to resurrect mines. SSD Ninja says, Warren plus 2 dragons equals GG enemies, also GG alignment. Chris will know that struggle, yes.
Is Ogre Battle a game where you have to do algebra or some bullshit to win?
It has all like the D&D stats of like alignment, charisma, and all that kind of stuff. So if you like take over a town with a low aligned character, that town will dislike you, and your reputation will go down. Or if you take it over with like a fucking dragon in your party and the people don't like dragons, then shit goes bad.
I'm really okay with being totally dismissive about this and making that part of my character.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like 14 different endings. So it all depends. You can actually play a very, very high alignment charisma run during a certain point and get like this very incredibly holy sword, but then go fight this demon named Galf and then just say, fuck it, I'm giving Galf the sword and making a deal with the devil, and then you get Galf in your party.
Wow, Chris, hey, that sounds cool. Instead of that, I played Die Hard Trilogy, drove the Wienermobile, and set people on fire.
Yes, indeed. For sure. Ouch. Die Hard Trilogy is good, though.
It's really good. It's way better than it should have been.
In reference to Ketchop, SSD Ninja says, in before he ties someone to train tracks, which he's absolutely that. He looks like that kind of cartoon villain.
Yeah.
Like a Rocky and Bullwinkle villain type character. Carfo says, one thing I love about Chrono Cross is how goofy it can be. Example, the tutorial battles of Salt and Pepper. So far, it balances that stuff pretty well. Yeah. And it usually lands.
It's running a good combination of weird, serious, mystery, existentialism, and then this Salt and Pepper chicanery.
Yes. Carfo says the death animations remind me of how innovative it was for Final Fantasy VIII to have death animations compared to FF7s where they just turn red.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're getting more out of the PlayStation here, and they're getting a lot, especially on that fucking Birdman boss. Wow.
Yeah, imagine making something like that statistically 33% of people will see.
Yeah.
Although I would say it's actually a higher percentage because no one picks Pierre.
Yeah, that's true.
Guile's also probably the easiest to find.
He's the first one you encounter because he's in the bar. So if you don't know any better, you're going to accept.
Go do that.
Yeah. Carfo says money becomes a non-factor in this game, so that's.
But I could have more of it.
Yeah, you could.
I live in a capitalist society. Having the most money means I'm the smartest person.
According to Gogh, Surgeon Squirrel, Boris and Natasha voice. Jesus. Thank you, SSD Ninja. Carfo says Chrono Cross really tries to avoid having players grind and not using money as a pay to win. So to speak.
It really does discourage that stuff. It's quite advanced in how that handles that.
Yeah, somebody had opinions they wanted to implement. And
somebody won an argument that usually you would not win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this game never got a sequel, so hey.
Hey, well, weird. Square. So that's all we got for the RealNet tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We always appreciate having an audience to speak with, so then we can ensure ourselves that we are not speaking only to each other. This episode is a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on August 21st, 2020. Thank you, Mark
Shepard,
for the intro track.
You're welcome, Chris.
Find us on Twitter, Retro Amnesia Pod. Subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you get your podcasts. Tell a friend, spread the word. Email the show at retrogradeamnesiapodcast@gmail.com. If you like us, consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/retroam. Get early access, bonus episodes, miniseries, and more. Until next time, Eric.
Tonight I will rest. Yes, we will kill God.
Make sure you get plenty of sleep. And now you may go back to sleep. He has decided to become a shift crap.
A shift crap?
He has decided to become a ship craftsman, and I'm sorry. Like, when I was talking with the kid, can't become a
Poop deck?
a sailor because of seasickness, I was immediately thought about that guy. Remember that guy that said he had to eat a whole thing of Pringles because he had to keep his blood sugar up? But so he ate a whole fucking thing of Lay's and Pringles. Remember that guy that we were with that one time?
No, I left to go to Santa Monica. You endured that.
Oh God, I had a bad headache that day.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, shout out to E3. No, fuck them. Anyway, the kid says he and the other thing that I know about Jim Nance is you know what he does after the Final Four, right?
Masturbate?
No, he gives usually the most valuable player gets a trophy or whatever from the Final Four or whatever.
Yeah.
Shout out to Luke Hancock. Jim Nance takes the tie that he was wearing while he was calling the game and gives it to the player that he liked the best. And it's very weird and awkward. And
Van said, yeah, what would you know as the door behind all of us opens up?
yes.
Who straddles in? So also note that's the second Good Son reference in our podcast
Is it?
series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, I don't remember that.
I don't either. I put Macaulay Culkin saying, don't fuck with me and some other whatever.
I wonder if you saved it. Maybe it's a Sweet Chat. Never mind. Fuck it. Twisted Sister. Who knows? Fuck it. Go ahead.
D. Snyder.
Yeah.